everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am Katie. In today's video, I'm going to be testing out some TikTok DIYs. I did a video like this about a year ago and it was super fun. I always love to watch TikTok and just get so much inspiration there. There are so many cool projects and I save them all the time, but I never actually try them out. So today I'm going to pick a few off of my list that I've been wanting to try and I'm going to test them out. I'll let you guys know if it works and if it's worth it, and then you guys can try them out yourself if you want to. Today's video is also sponsored by TULA Skincare and I can't wait to share more about that with you guys in a little bit, but let's go ahead and get started on the first TikTok DIY. The first TikTok that I really wanted to try came from Nifty, and the person doing the DIY found some unique shaped spray bottles at the dollar store and turned one into a stone or ceramic looking base. I couldn't find the exact spray bottles, but I did find these cool ones that also had a fun shape, so I figured they would work just as well. I went with two different painting techniques for this project. The first one I followed along with what the TikTok video showed, which was to do a base layer of a light colored paint, followed by a stone textured paint. I already love doing this to items around the house to give them a facelift, so this was right up my alley. For the second one, I used my terracotta spray paint, which has a flat finish and always looks really nice. This one needed 2 coats of paint, and I will say that because of all these ridges, it did make it a little more difficult to get every bit of it covered. It all worked out in the end and they were already looking really nice, but the top part was bothering me because it clearly still looked like a spray bottle top. So I grabbed this cord that I used in last week's video and started to wrap it around the top of each one. I just glued the end of the cord down and started twisting the vase. It was sort of tricky because parts of the top stuck out more and made the leather not lay flat and evenly, but I just played around with it until I was happy with the look. Overall, I think this DIY was a win and there are a lot of options to customize it, both with the shape and the color, so I'd recommend trying this one out. So something that I want to do more of this year is just share a little bit more about my life with you guys beyond just the world of DIYing, because you already know that's a big part of my life, and I also want to learn more about you guys because without you I wouldn't have my channel. I feel like I connect with you guys in the comment section all the time, but I think it would be fun to know where in the world you are, so just leave that in the comments down below. Something that I don't really talk about a lot on here, or I guess really at all, is that I have vitiligo, which is an autoimmune condition that causes me to lose pigment in my skin. So you may have noticed this when I'm doing DIY projects because I focus primarily on my hands in the video and I have pale spots on my hands. And I was really self-conscious about this for a long time, especially like I said, because I'm filming primarily my hands doing projects. So I would try to cover up the pale spots with makeup so that people wouldn't see it. And this was actually really tiring to have to do this every time I wanted to film. And one day I was just like, you know what? I am not going to do this anymore. I'm not gonna hide this. This is part of me and what makes me who I am. So I'm just going to embrace it for what it is and who I am. So that is why I'm so excited that this video is sponsored by TULA. As a skincare brand, they're all about embracing your skin and being healthy rather than being perfect, and also just feeling confident in your skin. Their products are also cruelty-free and never tested on animals, so that is a big plus as well. Another little fact about me is that I'm officially in my mid-30s, which sounds so weird to say, but I'm trying to be better about developing a consistent skincare routine. So I'm gonna share with you a few of my favorite products that I've been using lately in my TULA Glow Getter routine. First up are the Brightening Treatment Drops. It's a triple vitamin C serum. It is not sticky at all. It brightens the look of dull skin and evens the appearance of skin tone. Overall, I've noticed it just makes my skin feel brighter and more glowy in a good way. Being that I live in the Northeast and it is freezing right now and the air is very dry, I need all the moisturizer I can get. So the 24/7 Moisture Hydrating Day and Night Cream has been a lifesaver. It hydrates my skin and locks in moisture, which like I said is essential in this weather. It also improves the smoothness of my skin, and a bonus of this one is that the scent is really light and fresh. Another product I've been loving, which is such a fun one, is the Rose Glow and Get It Cooling Brightening Eye Balm. You just swipe a little bit of it under your eyes and it hydrates and nourishes the skin, and it instantly brightens and cools the area around and under my eyes. What's really nice about this is that you can apply it under or over makeup throughout the day. So when I'm having a long day of filming and I'm feeling tired, I'll just do a couple of quick swipes under my eyes and it just feels so refreshing and and cooling on my skin. It leaves a bit of a dewy glow, and it just feels like a pick-me-up for my face. So if you're like me and you're trying to develop a skincare routine, or you just want to try out some new products, I've got a discount code for you guys where you'll get 15% off your TULA purchase. The discount code is KatieBookser, and I will leave the link down below in the description box, as well as links to all of the products that I talked about today. I also wanted to mention that TULA has a free return policy for any purchases that you don't 100% love, which is really nice. The next project comes from Perkins on Parkway, and she made the cutest little stand with feet that can be used as coffee table decor or really anywhere to hold little items. I picked up this round wood plaque from the craft store, and it was the perfect size for this project. For the feet, I used these wood knobs that I had previously painted for a different project. I flipped the piece of wood upside down and started laying out the feet. I tried to space them evenly and far enough out to the sides so that you'll be able to see them when it's flipped the other way. I used hot glue to set them in place. In the original video, she used wood glue, and that would work as well. Once they were glued down, they were really stuck on there, so I wasn't worried about them moving at all, and I was really happy with the placement of them. In the TikTok video, she used the baking soda and paint method because she wanted it to look like plaster, so I followed this same method. I had a paint sample of this nice grayish white paint, and I added in a bunch of baking soda for extra texture. I always like to add a lot and make it pretty thick. I started by painting the top, and whenever I use the baking soda paint method, I like to start with a thin initial layer and then go back and add more on top for extra texture. It was already looking really good, and I was loving how the paint was drying, so I flipped it over and started working on the bottom, making sure to paint each of the feet and get in all the little spaces where they were attached to the top. To help with this, I grabbed a smaller paintbrush, and that worked really well to close those gaps and make it look much more finished. Lastly, I flipped it over one more time and did a final layer on the top. I think it looks really nice, and for just a few dollars, I made such a cute stand that I can use in so many different ways. The last project comes from Y Street Studio, and I love watching her videos because she's super creative. This time she took some test tubes that her dad gave her and she turned them into a hanging plant propagator, and you guys know how much I love making propagators, so let's go. I already had these really thin wood rounds, and because the other two projects didn't have a lot of color, I wanted to make this one more bright and colorful. I mixed together 2 shades of pink, and it created such a pretty coral color, which I think will pop with the green of the plant cuttings. While that was drying, I grabbed another wood circle and drew a straight line across it. I had a feeling that I could make this without any fancy tools, so I started slowly slicing the line using my X-Acto knife. This wood is so thin that after repeating this about 20 times, the wood eventually sliced into 2 pieces. Next, I took a test tube and placed it upside down in the center of this half circle. I traced it with a pencil and got to work cutting this out as well. The circle was even harder because I had to keep turning the wood to cut it, but again, after about 20 or so slices, it popped right out. It was a little bit rough, so I took a metal file and just roughly filed the edges, but it doesn't have to be perfectly smooth. I did 2 coats of paint on this as well, and then I added some hot glue to the inner part of the circle. I'm not actually gluing anything to this, I just let it dry and cool, but I needed to add a little something extra to hold the test tube in place, and this worked perfectly. I added hot glue to the flat bottom edge of the half circle and glued it down to the larger circle, holding it in place until the glue dried. To give it some extra reinforcement, I added another line of glue both on the top and bottom of the half circle piece. Once that was dry, I slid the test tube in, and with the extra glue, it was nice and snug. To cover up the extra glue, I had the idea to take some macrame cord, glue it behind the test tube, then wrap it all the way around one side, across the bottom, and back around to the other side. Then I cut the excess and glued the end down. To hang things like this that don't have hanging hardware, I like to use these Velcro picture hangers. You just stick them together and then add one sticky side to whatever you want to hang and the other to the wall. Now the propagator is finished and ready to use. So let me me know in the comments down below, 1, where you're from, and 2, which one of these TikTok DIYs you think was the best or your favorite. It's always fun for me to see which one is the winner because there usually is a favorite out of the 3 that has the majority of the votes, and it's always fun for me to kind of guess ahead of time which one you guys will like the best. So let me know in the comments, and as always, if you guys are not following me on Instagram, go ahead and follow me over there. It's just my name @KatieBookser. I've been posting tons of DIY reels lately, which is so much fun. And make sure you are subscribed to my channel so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. And if you hit that bell notification, you'll get notified whenever I upload a new video, which is great. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.